Makoko, Nigeria, is the most run-down floating city called the Venice of Africa. Makoko is the most run-down floating city called the Venice of Africa. While Venice is known as the water city which offers beautiful and romantic views, this is not the case with Makoko, a settlement located in the Lagos area, Nigeria, which is nicknamed the Venice of Africa. Instead of having beautiful and romantic views, this area, which stands on the seashore of the Atlantic Ocean, actually presents views that look shabby. In fact, the environmental conditions around this settlement are very sad. The color of the water in the lagoon appears black and oily, emitting a pungent odor and depicting unhealthy water conditions, which is then added to by kitchen waste scattered around the floating wooden huts. Thus, it can be concluded that the only similarity between Makoko and Venice is that they are both synonymous with water. Makoko is an informal fishing settlement with no official census records. Therefore, there are no exact records regarding the population in this area. However, preliminary estimates suggest that Makoko is inhabited by around 150,000 to 250,000 people who only have access to one English-language primary school located in the center of the area. Makoko was formed in the 18th century as a small fishing village which then spread quickly to form the large settlement that exists today. The settlement is home to hundreds of thousands of migrant workers from the West African country trying to make a living in Nigeria, where most of them depend on the fishing sector. Water is an inseparable part of people's lives in Makoko. Because of this, all the buildings in this area rest on stilt houses built of wood that are stuck deep into the waterbed. Generally, houses in Makoko are inhabited by around 6 to 10 people, and each house in this area has a boat which is used as a means of transportation around the settlement. Wooden boats are the only tool used to reach every place in this floating settlement. Even these simple boats are also used to fish and function as a place to sell. Makoko residents are so attached to water that children in this area start learning to row wooden boats when they are only 5 years old. The reason is that rowing is the main skill needed to survive in this slum area. For decades, Makoko lacked the basic infrastructure to be considered a habitable settlement. These settlements do not even have access to basic facilities such as clean drinking water, electricity, and rubbish disposal. This makes it vulnerable to environmental and health hazards. Communal latrines that are shared between households plus wastewater that flows directly into the waters where they live means that the water in the area is no longer able to support life. Instead, the only way to get clean drinking water is to buy it from traders who get it from boreholes. Meanwhile, the local government deliberately does not provide free water to residents in Makoko because, apart from considering it illegal housing, the government does not want Makoko residents to live in the area at all. Even though it is classified as an undesirable slum area, slum tourism has become the main activity in this area. Many tourists who come to Makoko are fascinated by its nature and conditions. One of the most charming attractions in Makoko is a floating school designed by a team of architects who built it from plastic barrels and has classrooms and a playground. The structure of this school building is made of 3 floors and has a building shaped like a triangular prism that can float on water with a building base made of 256 plastic drums. This floating construction is made from local wood powered by electricity with solar panels and can accommodate 100 students. The aim of building this floating school is, of course, to provide opportunities for children in Makoko who do not have the opportunity to receive school education due to poverty and limited geographic factors. Even though they receive many visits from tourists, Makoko residents rarely welcome them well because the residents are always wary and consider the tourists to be spies from the government. They are also cynical about photography because they think that their photos are sold for profit. Government efforts to evict Makoko residents in recent years have created a bigger problem of relocating the homeless. Because residents believe that Makoko is their only culture and therefore must be preserved by the government. The government's treatment of Makoko residents adds to their list of failures in developing the city of Lagos. The government's treatment of Makoko residents adds to their list of failures in developing the city of Lagos. The government, which has long wanted Lagos to become a majestic giant city built on the seashore with tall buildings and a prosperous and orderly seaside life, has in fact ended up presenting a slum seaside life with high pollution and a very messy traffic system.